Just riding down the road. We've got the Anime's bike path here. Not a bad design. Let's talk about Chris Froome. What, the spit off my face. And we're on the cargo bike. People are like, Duranoida, you're lean as, mate. You're setting PRs. How can you have your speed so slow? I'm riding the cargo bike most of the time, and it's a bit of a westerly wind. I'm going to go pick up my boots. And then when I'm carrying the boots home, I've got about 30 kilos in the bike sometimes. Let's talk about Chris Froome. Booted from the Tour de France team, kicked off the Tour de France team, whatever you want to call it. Disappointing. I would love to see Chris Froome. Always pay attention. I'd love to see Chris Froome in the Tour. You know, people are like, oh, he's a has-been, blah, 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 whatever. He is Chris Froome. He's won the Tour de France, you know, multiple times, provided immense entertainment for everyone. He has clout, all right? People bag him. I don't. I think, you know, he's great for the sport. He's helped me with my career in terms of just improving cadence and carbs, and power meters and all that stuff, you know. When people used to trash me about cadence, then Chris Froome come along, smashing the Tour de France, you know, so there you go. Now cadence is accepted. Proper cadence. So it is disappointing that he's out of the Tour. Like, it's just, yeah, sure, he's not in his Tour de France winning hemoglobin levels, but that's okay, is what it is. In my opinion, trend cough, he still deserves a place in the Tour because he's a great dude for cycling, can provide insides tips for the new guys on the team, and we don't know the full story. Maybe there's something going on here, all right? But let's just assume it's just Chris Froome wasn't good enough. He wants to go, you know, let's assume he wants to go and do the Tour de France this year. Or maybe he's like, fuck it. I got cash, I got clout, I got legacy, I'm done, see you later. You know, just tell him I'm not selected. Maybe that's a possibility. We don't know. So this is videos of assumptions here. And, you know, maybe we'll know, maybe we'll never know. That's okay. It's professional sport, it's entertainment. But I would love to see Chris Froome doing it. I remember it was 2014 when Chris crashed out of the Tour on that wet stage in the cobbles. And, it was so disappointing, wasn't it? Yeah, we wanted to see Chris Froome battling the Bali and the gang up in the mountains, in the Pyrenees and the time trials, etc. And that didn't happen, so I was like, damn. So Chris Froome deserves to be in the Tour de France this year because of the clout he brings. People used to go to the Tour de France just to see Chris Froome. His cycling team got its clout mostly because of Chris Froome. And if they leave him out, I'm just like, what? You know, so, but again, it's just assumptions. We don't know the full story. So let's assume we do, and that they're just a corporate, cutthroat team like the rest, and there's no sympathy or whatever. So now, see you later, mate. Not good enough. Hemoglobin's not high enough. And that's what it comes down to, man. Hemoglobin, all right? Hemoglobin is the name in the game. And people were like, oh, you know, Chris Froome, he used asthma-puffers, he's a doper. Look, everyone, okay, every sport, every champion from CrossFit to tennis, everybody's maximizing exogenous hormones to fly under the radar, just enough enhancement to be up there, okay? It's just how it is, all right? It's professional sport, and the average person out there is like, no, it's not doing you either. They do drug testing. Lance Armstrong, most tested human on the planet ever. Still was, still is. How many times he failed a drug test? 0. Cortisone cream, backdated, TUE, no worries. All right, so it's just like drug tests at certain levels, IQ tests. The level of drugs I have now is beyond, okay? It's just how it is, and that's just part of the sport. I wish the world was more educated on how prevalent PEDs are and how essential they are at the top. All right, it's not cheating, it's just a choice. There's even guys on Strava with soap bar tattoo on their bicep, you know, who are doing EPO watts per kilo as retired athletes. Like it's that shit works, man. That's why it's so popular. So yeah, disappointed that Chris is not on the tour this year. Maybe he said I want rim brakes, and the team's like, nah, no can do. Who knows? We don't know the full story. But what good memories did Chris Froome give us? We can't debate that, you know, like epic times. Chris Froome in the Tour de France. What a, you know, it's always like a great time of the year to watch cycling and see the battles with the Team Sky train and all that stuff. Just incredible. Richie Port leading Chris out in the mountains and stuff. Just iconic cycling, a great era. end of an era, just like rim brakes. And now we're just seeing excessive cutthroat corporate bullshit, paying minimal homage to, you know, legacy unless they can make some money off of it. It's just, yeah, it's disappointing. But this Tour de France, it will still be enjoyable to watch, but, you know, will anyone die from disc brake crashes like we just saw a few weeks ago, unfortunately, with Gino? Yeah, look, see that guy, the Italian champion the other day in Tour of Slovenia, was it? Sliding out on the corner, you know, fucking over the bars, man. Disc brake lockups. So who knows, maybe Chris Froome said to his team, I don't want to ride disc brakes, they're not safe. The team's like, well, see ya. Who knows?